What's going on, everybody? SciFighter here. I'm along with my brother, Sergeant Splatter, Jeremy Wilson, and we're here doing another match out of Dragon's Hoard. This was just a casual Friday night fight, but we've got two players, Bob A. Fett and Elijah DarryBerry. Jeremy, have you played with either of these guys?
Yeah, I mean, I've played with Bob A. Fett before, and we've had some great matches back and forth. He is a fantastic player, and he's really my favorite part is how he approaches TOing and bringing folks to the game stores that he plays at and frequents. And he's just a great guy, super kind, giving. If you want to go, he will hit you up with extra promo stuff. He's just that kind of guy that likes to do that kind of stuff. So I'm honored to be able to stream more matches from Kitsap Star Wars and also Poe Dameron Classic. Want to shoot that one out there. It's coming up April 6th, and I was able to get a chance to paint the templates for that. So come on by Dragon's Horde and win some of those templates. They look pretty sweet with the Poe Dameron colors. So, but yeah, played with him. Great guy. Elijah is somebody I've been talking with a lot. He's over at the Anime Cat store over in Port Angeles, Washington, and he's come over there trying to kind of build up the X-Wing community in there. And so I'm looking forward to on April 13th going down to Anime Cat and getting a chance to play at that store and give them a little support there. By the way, Anime Cat is also where Elijah plays at, is also doing some CAC painting for the campaign against cancer, which is something that I'm getting a chance to do as well. If you can support that, go to some X-Wing games, even if you've never played before. It's super casual, great way to support this great cause to help fight cancer and help find a cure. So hit up any CAC around you, whether it's in our area of Bremerton, or if you go up to Vancouver, Washington, or of course in many other states it's at. So, all right.
Yeah, it's a huge event that's going along country, which is really cool. There's a lot of drives, fundraisers for X-Wing tournaments, which is just awesome. It's a good way to kind of dip your toe into the competitive environment without really worrying about like, oh, this is like nationals or regionals or whatever. You don't have to worry about any of that. It's just good fun. And of course, Bob Fett also is the provider of our footage that we're going to be
Mm-hmm.
going through. So
Yep.
big thanks to him as well for putting together his time. I helped him set up some equipment for some other events, and man, there's a lot to it, and he does it out of the kindness of his heart. Great guy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, without further ado, I guess we'll go through the list here. I suppose as my slightly evil nature inclines, I'll take the bad guys.
Makes sense. And we're
I
flying we're getting a chance to see all the new ships, which is why
Yes.
I'm really excited about this cast because, I mean, I haven't even got a chance to fly any of these or see them on the table, so this is going to be something special, I think.
Yeah, so we'll take a little bit of extra time just making sure we read the cards, or at least the abilities. Make sure that we understand what's going on because this is all brand new Wave 3 content just came out. I'm kind of familiar with the Separatists a little bit just because I'm looking at if I want to buy them or not.
Hmm.
So this is good for anybody that might be in the same kind of situation. Not sure if you want to commit to spending some cash to get into some new factions. But Boba Fett running the Separatists. He's got Darth Maul to lead the way in that Sith infiltrator. Darth Maul kind of getting a bit of that old gunner from first edition, so he can perform a attack, and then after he does, he can spend two of his force charges to perform a bonus attack against a different target, but if he misses, he can attack that same target. So he's going to be needing all the force he has. He has three to start with, but he's going to take the hate force power in order to, when he receives damage, he gets to receive that many force charges. Um, and
That's strong. That's
mm-hmm.
very strong. Powerful on a ship that has a lot of health, anyways. Why not get extra force when you can?
Exactly. So I think running Darth Maul, if you're only gonna run one upgrade on him, that might be the best one to do. He's also running General Grievous in the Belbelub, if that's pronounced correctly. Um,
Beelzebub. I've heard it all kinds of
oh
different ways
yeah,
on different podcasts.
Bulbasaur, all kinds of stuff. Yeah,
Bulbasaur. Yeah.
no upgrades on that, and then three vultures with energy shells and the grappling hooks. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of anxious to see how those work. Those are kind of the more exciting ability that nobody in any other faction has been
Mm-hmm.
able to do. Is land on a rock, pivot around, and kind of become like a immobile turret
Mm-hmm.
whenever you want. You can even cordon off sections of the board possibly and just make your own little corner of death. You, if you want to bring the fight to me, that's fine, but you've got to fly through uh,
Mm-hmm.
my vultures sitting on rocks, and then Darth Maul's coming for you.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see. This is kind of a similar list to what I'd be thinking of if I was going to be playing some Separatists. So I'm uh,
Mm-hmm.
I'm anxious. Uh,
Yeah, I like the energy shells. I think that's a good option for these Vulture class droids. Especially makes good use out of being able to get at that 3 attack dice. It's just on one pass, so I mean you may be able to get them recharged. But one of our Silver Squadron members, Travis, just won a tournament with energy shells on the Vulture class droids, and said it worked really really well. We also saw William Hagwood over with what was the Gold Squadron podcast did a tournament recently this last weekend, and William Hagwood gets to the final table with a bunch of Vulture droids and a Bulbasaur and energy shells. I mean, just it's a strong upgrade. So and it's not too pricey, right? It's like what 3-4 points, something like that for it. So
4 points, which is
hmm
far less than any Jedi is going to be spending on
hmm
that Delta B title to basically kind of do the same thing, increase those red dice. The nice part about the energy shells too, they're the ordnance, so you're going up to 3 dice, range 2 to 3, and then they don't get that range 3
Ah,
bonus.
that's true.
And
Yeah.
on top of that, you can spend your calculate token to change a focus result to a crit result, which could always
hmm
change the game.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, I've got the Republic side. So this is Elijah, and I appreciate Elijah's take on list building. We've talked about quite a few lists over the last few months here, and he a lot of times he likes to go with a bid, and we see that he has a bid in this one as well at 195 out of 200 points. He's starting off with Anakin Skywalker at Initiative 6, and he also threw on the Delta 7 B title. Now, this is an expensive title. Okay, it takes the Jedi Starfighter. It takes another 18 points to put it on, but what you get is you get another red dice and you get 2 shields. Now the downside is you turn it from like kind of an interceptory type ship with three agility, and you drop it down to only 2 agility, so it kind of possibly feels a little bit more like an X-wing at that point with just a different dial. And then you have R4 Astromech, which is going to help his blues. So definitely clearing a lot of stress. Anakin's pilot ability here reads, as I'm still learning how this guy functions. But after you fully execute a maneuver, if there's an enemy ship in your primary forward-facing arc at range 0 to 1, or in your bullseye, so that could be farther than range 0 to 1 if you get them lined up in the bullseye, you may spend 1 force to remove a stress token. So either you're going to clear that stress with the R4 Astromech to turn those 2s into blue, or you can use his ability hopefully to clear that at range 0 to 1, or of course in the bullseye arc. And then the Jedi Starfighter has these fine-tuned controls where you can spend a force to perform either a boost or a barrel roll action. So that gives you a little bit more maneuverability with those Delta 7s. So I'm curious to see how Anakin zips around the board here. And then he's got 2 other ships, and they're kind of, I guess, I mean, would you call them aces of the pack? I mean, they're not super high initiative, but they're some of the higher ones of the pack.
Out of the arc,
There's not a lot of
sure.
sixes, out
Um,
out here
yeah,
yet for this faction.
they're the higher initiative out of the arcs. An ace generally gets to reposition a lot easier. These only have a red barrel roll
Hmm.
for the arcs, so not a lot of repositioning going on, but they are definitely the higher initiative and able to start PS killing all those
Hmm.
Trade Federation drones that we see on the other
True.
side.
Yeah, that's definitely an option. Well, he's got Wolf, whose pilot skill or pilot talent reads, while you perform a primary attack, you may spend 1 charge to reroll an attack die. While you perform a primary attack from the back arc, you may recover 1 charge to reroll 1 attack die, or to roll 1 additional attack die. So basically, you shoot out the front, you spend a charge, and you get to reroll one of your attack die. So if you natty it and and you roll all hits, hey, no big deal. You don't have to use it. But if you need to reroll something, you don't have a target lock, boom, you can use his ability. And then in the back side, that's how you recharge it. So this doesn't have a recurring charge every round. Instead, you have to shoot out the back to get that charge back. So what's really cool about this build with Wolf that Elijah put together was you have Chancellor Palpatine, who's ridiculous on his own. After you defend, if the attacker is at range 0 to 2, you may spend a force. If you do, the attacker gains a stress token. And during the end phase, you have the option to flip this card to Darth Sidious. Now, you only get to flip him once. You only get to flip him once, but that's is powerful already. And then when you flip him to Darth Sidious, he has a different ability. After you perform a purple coordinate action, so a force coordinate action, the ship that you coordinate gains a stress token. Then it gains 1 focus or recovers 1 force. Okay, so he can take this card and after he's done what he needs to do with it, at first he can flip him to Darth Sidious, revealing the Emperor, and then we get to have that different ability. What's cool about Chancellor Palpatine as well is that it goes for the Separatists also. So you're actually going to see Palpatine in both factions throughout different tournaments. So I think that's kind of a neat thing that you can do, as he is kind of controlling both sides. Spoiler alert, he's he's kind of in charge of everything. But what I was going to say before I got to Palpatine was with Wolf's ability of spending that charge at the front and then the back and then getting it out the back, Elijah threw on here veteran tail gunner. All right, so veteran tail gunner is where you can perform a primary attack, and then after that you can do a bonus back attack out your back arc. And so he could possibly in 1 round, if he gets that arc, uh, no pun intended, maybe I was, but if you get that arc ship and you get both arcs facing a target, you could actually in 1 round spend your charge and gain it back. So I'm interested to see how that works out. And then finally we finish with Oddball, who I'm curious to see how many times his bullseye arc is going to get off. But he has, after you fully execute a red maneuver, perform a red action. If there is an enemy ship in your bullseye, you may acquire a lock on that ship. So another opportunity to gain really some dual modification during some attacks. And he has cluster missiles and debris gambit to kind of round out the list. So, whew. Man, a lot of new stuff there, but let's see how this thing plays out.
Yeah, and the barrel roll action on those torrents is white, so it's not the red action that it needs, but it's so strong in getting those arcs set up, and then it can link to a red evade. So
Mhm.
you've got the strongest repositioning ability for lining up those bullseye shots, which can link into that red action, so you can acquire that lock. So
Mhm.
it's kind of a nice little synergistic move there.
Yeah.
Um, it's a bit of an odd talent that people kind of shy away from at first, but if you can use it right, I think it'll
Mhm.
be very powerful.
Definitely. And we have one new thing to talk about before we hit this match, and you were going to share a little bit about the new debris clouds, the new gas clouds that are part of these two factions that came out.
So these gas clouds, so there's
You can
been
see
a
them
lot of
on the table
questions
there.
about how they work. Basically, if you run over them, just like any other obstacle, you're going to lose your action for that after that maneuver. However, There's no additional penalty to that. You're not taking any stress. You're not taking strain, which some people thought you would. And then the only other thing that they do is if your shot is obstructed through those, then you add the die like normal, but also flip one blank result on those green dice to an evade result. So very defensive, allows for some very defensive rolls. Can maybe save a ship that's
Mm-hmm.
on the brink of destruction, um, with very minor penalties for hitting them. So it could be an option for people to take, and they're a bit smaller um, in size than a lot of the other obstacles that are in the game at the moment. So we'll see how those work out. There are three of them on the board, and since obstacles are already placed, and we've got a few ships down, let's take a look at what we're looking at. So first off, we've got the vultures set up, and it
Mm-hmm.
looks like they're either able to kind of swing around either direction that they want to go, or even go right through the middle. I like their
Mm-hmm.
positioning. Um, they've got some wide obstacles set up, so those formations are going to be able to get through if they need to. But he's got them set up in a place where they can go one of three directions.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting to see where those end up.
Well, it depends too what Elijah does. You got the arc over in the top right corner, on his side of the board. I mean, does he go into joust, or does he, does he slow play and feel out where Elijah's going to go? So I'm curious to see how that plays out too. And of course, we have three more ships to go down. So yeah,
All right. Well, I think we've done all the preliminary work. You ready to get going?
let's do it. Count it off.
All right. Let's hit the play button in three, two, one, go. So,
Now, was that
um,
on go or was that after? No, I'm just kidding. I'm good. I'm good. We
all
got
right,
this.
awesome. So this was kind of an interesting setup. So you've got
Mhm.
the missiles on the Republic side, those cluster missiles, range 1 to 2, and then you've
Mhm.
got these energy shells on the Separatist side. So differing ranges that these guys are going to want to engage at. So it's going to be very interesting how you're going to set that up. How you're going to, if you're the Republic player, you want to hang back until you can launch forward fast enough that you can get those clusters off. Maybe even take two ships off the board in
Mhm.
one go. You never know.
Mhm.
And being at that higher initiative, that would be really strong. Whereas the Separatists kind of want to stay back and get those energy shells off before Darth Maul has to get in and start really earning his keep
Mhm.
with his ability.
And we're looking at a little bit of what might be a joust coming up here. We've got the arc, and what's that other one? The torrent, both setting up there. I'm really interested to see how, because they're facing Darth Maul, and of course the droids are down in the middle. But let's see where he puts. Anakin here. Is he going to want to try to flank with Anakin? Is he going to want to push him up in the middle, maybe try to kind of get around behind that swarm there. So I'm really curious to see this next placement here.
Yeah, it looks like
Oh, is
dials
he
are going
down?
down, so I'm guessing Anakin's actually towards the bottom,
Oh, maybe he is, and we just can't see it there.
somewhere down in the corner,
All
and
right.
chances are he's gonna try to flank up. He's got to
Mm-hmm.
be a little bit careful. You don't
There's
want
the
to.
handshake.
All right,
There we go.
so
We
that
are off.
yeah, you don't want to run Anakin in too fast because if he gets caught by himself, he's down in agility from that Delta
Mm-hmm.
7B upgrade, and
Mm-hmm.
he could get knocked out real quick.
Now see, a
Mm-hmm.
really fast start here with the CIS faction. Boba Fett taking that ship right down the center.
I mean, he's still got the ability to choose where he
Mm-hmm.
wants to fight, right? If Anakin is down towards the bottom, he can turn that way. I
Mm-hmm.
think a 1 or 2 turn would fit
Yeah.
pretty easily, and then the ships towards the top if he wants to go that way. So he's still got the options.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like rushing in towards the middle, capitalizing on that area, and then being able to determine where you want to go next round.
Yeah. Looks like he's going to keep that box formation going with another quick move there. Remembering we got the or not focus tokens with the droids, but we get calculate tokens. Unless you're Guri, you are stuck with calculating.
Which, hey, she's hyperspace now, so
She
you
is. I
could
can't
definitely
wait.
run her.
Oh my goodness. I might have to give that a try. She's fun.
Um, so I think you do the same thing with Maul. You just kind of run in there while you've got only the 2 out of the 3 ships coming in, and
Hmm.
arguably maybe the strongest in Anakin down
Hmm.
below. Darth Maul can start trying to soften up these targets up top.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a good point. I don't think at this point Boba Fett's gonna want to try to slow play Maul. I think the way it looks right now seems like he's gonna charge in. So Anakin, we'll see what he can do to get in the fight, and how early that can happen there.
Yeah, hopefully he poured on the speed.
Hmm. But we'll see what the arc does too. They could be slow rolling a little bit. See how fast they go here.
And that looks like a
Hmm.
pretty small template, so yeah,
Yep.
they're not going too fast.
Yep.
Probably letting Anakin burn some rubber and get up
Hmm.
into the fight.
Good way to feel out the opponent here. Still, still options to turn any direction. And it looks like a barrel roll coming with a
Mm-hmm.
medium base. It looks funky. I haven't barrel rolled with a medium base yet, actually. Flying U-wings, they don't get that option. So,
Yeah, so they barrel roll just like a large base. You turn that
mhm,
template sideways instead of how you would with a small base, and then you still line it up on the hash mark just like you would normally. But
and we
it
see that
does,
stress token go down because of what you talked about earlier, not having the ability
yeah,
to barrel roll with a white. So,
yeah, that can affect it, but this early on, it really doesn't matter. Your
yeah.
positioning is much more important than worrying about that little stress token.
Hmm.
It'll be gone before you have to think too much about it.
All right. Seeing what his action is going to be here. We got the torrent coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Another slow move. Definitely don't want to go too fast. You want to keep them together.
Yeah.
All right, we see a barrel roll to the right there as well. Looks like there's a barrel roll back, so that kind of keeps him right in line with the back of that
Mm-hmm.
arc.
What do you think you want to take out first on the Republic side? Do you go after Wolf with
Hmm.
the munitions and Palpatine,
Hmm.
or do you try to turn after Anakin? What do you think?
Well, I think Palpatine's very strong. I think if you can get that thing down quick, that would really help you in your fight against Anakin. I mean, if for some reason you can put Anakin in the kill box or something, then I mean I think you take that try. You
Mm-hmm.
try for that. But at this point, I'm seeing that I want to go for that arc first. Definitely. I mean, oddball. The bullseye to me is tough to pull off, so I'm not as worried about that landing every round. But definitely Chancellor Palpatine can cause some issues for sure.
All right, and there looks like they're back to dials. Still can't quite see Anakin. He probably went straight along that bottom edge.
Hmm.
Um, so if he's trying to swing around behind, I think I think you want to commit to just another straight. Depending on how fast you went, I think you go straight 5. You just try to burn rubber and get behind everybody, then trying to turn in and join the fight too early. Because if those drones turn on you,
Hmm.
um, I mean Anakin could be dealt with very quickly.
I almost wonder if you if you take oh he's going for I was gonna say I wonder if you try to take Anakin with the drones and have Maul just fight those two ships up
Mm-hmm.
top, but looks like he's gonna bring everybody to cut them in that
Yeah.
direction. He's not overcommitting with a hard turn here. He's got the soft banks to uh, to help him still have options. He can still go back right if the two Republic ships up top, do a hard turn
Sure. End up
to the
turning down the
left.
map, try to meet up with their wingman.
Hmm.
It's not a bad option for them because this is a. I mean, you got 200 points of list coming at you.
Hmm.
Got to be very careful.
Here comes
And
the
that range
Bulbasaur there.
control again is going to be very important.
Little bump there. Banks are always a little bit weird when you're flying
Mm-hmm.
in formation. Now, Bobby Fett has a lot of experience with that as well, flying different styles of swarms, especially the new Scum ships there. All right, we got a bank coming from the Ark.
So maybe arrange some energy shells here.
We definitely look like we might be at range 3. It's going to be close.
Yeah, I think we're definitely at range 3 for at
Is
least
it
the
only
lead ship.
one? Yeah, I was gonna say, is it just one? Which could be dangerous. The least, if you're trading shots, with only one from a swarm, that's not bad. It's when you get all of them locking on target when things can go pretty rough. All right, is that a stop there? What is that? I see his stress coming out.
Looked like he might have coordinated. He might
Mm,
have already
okay.
flipped over,
Mm-hmm.
um, Palpatine. Or actually, Palpatine has that purple evade action on the front
Mm-hmm.
side as well, I believe. So, um, it's like he coordinated.
And this will be nice if he has a clear the stress move to clear stress,
Yeah,
which it
he
looks like
probably
it's a one bank, and it looks
probably
like he's going
planned
to
that
clear
in.
that thing. Nice maneuver, nice move. It's almost what's that old 1.0 card for that? Already starting to lose some of those 1.0 things. One of the system cards there that you could do your action before you move and clear that stress. So.
Oh, the advanced sensors. Those are in
Mhm.
second. A little more expensive now.
Mhm.
So there's definitely gonna be some shooting on this one.
Mhm.
Got Maul in range. They're starting to measure now.
Yep. Looks like we got a couple things in range there. Okay. So the torrent lining up who it's going to shoot at first.
Yeah,
What
oddball.
do you take? What are you going for if you're the CIS? If you're going at CIS here, if you're Elijah, who are you shooting at first here?
Well, I mean, looks like he's going ahead and locking
Mm-hmm.
Maul, so looks like he's gonna go that route.
Okay.
I don't necessarily disagree with that. The Separatist drones are gonna be strong on the first pass, and
Mm-hmm.
there's no way around that unless you start initiative killing him, which you
Mm-hmm.
can't really count on. Um, you're not
There's
shooting your
Anakin.
munitions this round,
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
Maul's the big bruiser, but I think you
He
leave
also
him
has
for
that
last.
force though too. He's also got that force to help him. I don't know. Yeah. It's kind of. It'll be interesting to see.
Here
We got
comes
little
Anakin. We can see
little
him now.
Annie, little Annie. You're
I
here, bud.
bet
You
he's
made
gonna
it.
do a barrel roll. It's a good
I'm
trick.
Yeah, exactly. I know. When do we get to see the little Annie pilot card? When the N1s come out or
Oh yeah.
the Naboo starfighters come out, we'll have a little Annie pilot card. We better.
Oh, there certainly
Can't just
will.
be stuck with old Anakin. Come on.
Certainly will. I can't remember exactly what's been spoiled so far, but
This is a nice flank, though. I mean, look
oh
at
yeah,
this positioning. I mean, he is right behind that swarm. They can still do like a hard turn on him, but the way that Anakin can move, I think you can easily stay out of arc with
yeah.
the
Depending on the
position he's
damage
got.
he does, I mean, if once you start hitting something, you kind of want to
Hmm.
just finish it off.
Hmm.
So if he's gonna overcommit, or not necessarily overcommit, but if he's gonna commit to this, getting these arcs off, well, the arc
Hmm.
on the torrent, I think you definitely go after Palpatine. He's the
Hmm.
strong one.
Got 2 hits that are showing. There's another dice up there, but 2 hits showing.
Yeah, but nothing quite coming up for those greens.
You could use a focus or calculate if you wanted.
I think if he's shooting at that bottom one, it
Nope,
doesn't
looks
have a
like, yeah,
calculate.
that's true. No calculate there. He bumped. So he took 2 damage there. He's not. That's the Bulbasaur. Alright, we got hit, crit, and a focus. Use the force for that. If that's yep, there we go.
Yep,
2 hits
got
and a
it
crit.
flipped over.
You got it. You might as well spend it. You got hate as well to recharge
Sure.
it. So
Didn't quite see. There was one evade there, but he's taken 2 shields, flipping them over. And now he's looks like he's going to be spending his force and using his ability to fire again. So going after that torrent. Force Dengar, is that what he said? 1, 2, and 3. He already spent his force, I believe, for this round. And 2 evade.
2 evades saved it. Alright,
Now Maul is empty on force. However, if he starts taking damage, he will get that back.
Yep. Looks like a range 3 shot from Oddball here.
Focus and a hit.
Focus, yeah. You spend the focus here, you're going to be taking some
looks
shots.
like he's spending a lock.
There you
and
go.
got the same result. That's always a bummer.
Shoot. And no. I mean, it's part
rule.
of the rules. You still re-roll or still roll your dice anyways, even though if there's no damage. But that is tricky. So let's see if the arc can get a little bit more damage on Maul, or get some damage on Maul here. It's a good time to do it too with no force. 2 hits.
Do I want to use Wolf's ability to re-roll so I can use his ability?
So he probably has a blank in there, or a focus result possibly. He's considering
Thinking
re-rolling one.
it.
And there's 2
2 natty evades. There you go.
Nice.
Negates the damage, and then we should have a shot or 2 with our droid buddies here.
Now the droids. Alright, let's see who's
Roger,
in range.
Roger. If I do ever buy into CIS, I think that's something I'm going to have to say every time.
That won't annoy anyone.
No, of course not.
What a unique and special thing you've discovered. I think the energy shell charges were in range on these back 2 drones when he was measuring arc. So that could be nasty. Yep, there's an energy shell charge.
Alright, we got hit crit. Ooh, no.
Hit crit, spent that calculate to flip that to a crit.
And then the only way you can get that charge back.
Oh, man. There must have been a second crit there. Structural damage and disabled power regulator. So rolling 1 fewer die on the greens.
On Oddball?
It looked like he measured towards the arc.
Okay.
Which is who Darth Maul did all the damage to. Also.
Yep, going for getting Palpatine off the board there.
He's starting to take some ions coming up, and also rolling 1 fewer green for the rest of the match. That one is actually not repairable.
Another one coming.
Double crit.
This is 2 more crits with those energy shells, man. On that first pass, that's a tough piece.
Hull breach and wounded pilot. He took them both.
Ouch.
If he survives this round, he's gonna have a rough couple of rounds trying to get rid of some of these crits.
Well, if he can, I think there's 1 more shot coming. Here it is. 2 hits. No calculate to get a crit. So, but gotta evade this.
He's gotta evade something, or else he's done. And it doesn't look like he rolled it.
Yeah, not enough.
That's rough.
Not enough, and
that's the thing
kind
with
of a
ordnance.
rough start there.
Yeah, I mean it's just the 1 shot, and then you've got to recharge those things. But because they're ordnance at range 3, you don't get that extra die, and that for some of these 1 agility ships, that can be all she wrote. And that's actually just something I just thought of. It's 1 agility ship, and it got that structural damage, so it wasn't rolling any.
Mm-mm.
Became a
No,
decimator.
just take. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, decimator without all the hole and shield. So, let's see. How do we salvage this here? We've got
Hmm.
oh
That's
this guy sitting alone. The
He's only 5 hull. I assume the Separatists are gonna jump in here and just finish him off, and then they'll
Mhm.
deal with Anakin another turn.
Yeah, I think you need to finish off that top section. But this could be a nice move for just a turn and try to pin Anakin down as he's coming, from behind. As you could easily get Maul in position for that, and turn your swarm there to give him
Yeah, I
some
mean
room.
your swarm is a bit limited in trying to turn around. It's only got 2 Talon rolls and a 1 K turn. But that 1 K turn actually might keep you in close enough that you're
Hmm.
getting some meaningful shots, especially if Anakin tries to burn rubber and get in there. Um, if he comes in range 1 at you, you're gonna have 4 ships. He can only try to kill 1 per in a round.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. And if you're Elijah at this point, I think you're trying to, obviously keep Anakin surviving. You gotta get one of these droids off the table. Get something, some of these attack dice to stop firing.
Hmm.
Um, do you try to run with Oddball, or do you just try to jam him up there? Maybe get a block. Get lucky,
Um,
get a block.
I'm, it's gonna be hard to block this coming round,
Mhm.
because you're higher initiative,
Mhm.
so you're really looking for the positioning of the next round.
Mhm.
Um, so trying to get in there, maybe block up Darth Maul a bit, but I would think as the Separatist player, I'm kind of the mindset that I would turn around my back line or my drones and
Mhm.
have have them keep Anakin busy for a minute while maybe
Maybe just a one
Grievous
straight or something, and.
Grievous and Maul finish off this torrent.
Mhm.
Um, Only 5 hull. It shouldn't survive too terribly long.
I feel like that torrent could do. Oddball could take a left turn and maybe just kind of run just a little bit. Maybe set up Anakin for something here.
You utilize that rock to your advantage. You
Mhm.
could. It's the hard part when you're behind, right? Like you need to
Yep.
be taking shots now because you're
Mhm.
so far behind. Losing not your most expensive ship, but definitely your one that can take a little bit of punishment. Eh,
Mhm.
not as much as it did, but it's hopefully more survivable than this game let it on to believe. Hmm. I, I don't know. It's a tough call.
Mhm.
So either you get in, try to disrupt the swarm, or you kind of run. Um, but if you're running, you're not getting any shots.
Mhm.
You've kind of got to hope for some of those initiative kills. Try to get in there, hit him hard, and take something off the board before it can fire. I think
Mhm.
is probably the better way to go.
Yeah, I mean, I will say I did like the positioning of the last turn. I know it didn't work out well. It wasn't a great trade with the arc there going down in that first round of engagement. But I do like the idea of the flank and the other two ships there up top. Um, I just yeah, if you could have got maybe half health on that on Darth Maul, I think that would have been an okay. As it would have been a better trade, definitely. But maybe just bringing Anakin in a little bit sooner. Maybe not having him quite as far down the board edge there.
Yeah, he was way down on the bottom, I think, and then also, like we were talking about beforehand as well, some of that
Mhm.
range control, trying to stay out of range 3 until you can slam into
Mhm.
range at least 2, start using some of your weapons and abilities. You know,
Mhm.
I think a couple of cluster missiles might really change the game if he had kind of played
Mhm.
that a little bit faster at the beginning, so he could try to get to a better range. But
I think
I think
the
Boba
other
Fett,
positive. Oh, go ahead.
I think Boba Fett's going so fast in that initial round is really
Mhm.
kind of what let him get this positioning on his opponent.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I think most people kind of expect you to do the slowest move you can and see what the other guy is doing.
I think that's kind of the power of these gas clouds as well, mixed with the energy shells. So separating those out, the gas clouds give you some freedom. I feel like to
Hmm.
be able to get in there because you're not super worried about.
You're not rolling for
Um,
damage or anything like
yeah,
that.
you're not. There's not a lot of penalties. Actually, there's more positives than there is negatives with these gas clouds, especially with a swarm. Um, and we saw that with D-Yoon's run just a couple days ago there, using gas clouds with a tie swarm,
Hmm.
and that thing that just gave him so many options and that extra evade. So I think being able to have those gas clouds right in the middle really gives you that option to scream them right up in the middle of the board like that. Um, the other piece is these energy shells. Now, three of them, or all three of them, have gotten rid of their energy shells. But I mean, you saw that effect, right? I mean, the
Hmm.
fact that you can change them to a crit. I mean, that was a lot of damage coming out, and at range 3, that's a tough spot to be at. So this next shot against the Torrent, if he does turn left with it, I would actually feel not too bad about that if
It's
I was
only gonna be
Elijah,
2 dice
because
shots.
exactly,
Hmm.
you're gonna at least be able to do some things there to help you.
Sure.
So
Um, yeah. So I mean, there's definitely a chance of surviving. Also, the torrents do have the second agility die that the arc did not get a benefit from, as it only has that native 1, and then
hmm
lost that to a crit. So that was just kind of some unlucky draws.
hmm
And here goes those drones trying to just kind of get in there,
yep
block the way.
hmm
Um, Probably trying to get rid of some of these potential evades
hmm
from the debris gambit, things like that. You hit a
these things
ship, you
fly
can't get.
fast, man. This is
Mm-hmm.
this is what, round 3 here.
Yeah,
They're
and
all
they're
the way at
already
the
on
other
the other
side of the
side.
board. Look at
Yeah,
that.
definitely not slow play from
hmm
Bob Fett.
Mm-mm.
He's getting in there and
Cruising.
getting dirty.
Yep. Yeah, and look at
And
this, cutting off the other angle. So he's kind of trying to cover
yeah, in
both
case he does
ends
run,
here.
he's ready to
hmm
go.
Yeah, he's still gonna get another shot. Uh, all focused up here, and then let's see what he does with the
Very,
Bulbasaur. Same thing.
yeah, it
So
was a
he's
very
he's got
calculated
two
move.
two on both sides, giving him a chance to really pin down this ship here. Now, does he take Maul and jam him up there too, or does he try to turn him towards Anakin and get that started?
I mean, you're gonna be bumping with pretty much any of Maul's moves. Maybe a 2 turn towards
hmm
Anakin does clear,
Look at this barrel roll, by the way.
which I don't dislike. Right, you've got
hmm
Maul that's definitely not gonna get killed by Anakin. I mean, with 9 health and
hmm
the Force, um, can definitely survive a couple Anakin shots. So, um, I think it's good to keep Anakin on his toes, keep him busy with somebody, and Darth Maul might be that guy.
hmm now take a look at that Bulbasaur there. He did a barrel roll. Actually sets him up really nice for next turn. Plus, depending on what Anakin does, might give him the ability to have an extra evade. You know, if that is obstructed through the gas cloud. I'm anticipating that Anakin's going to go a lot faster than
Yeah.
and there shouldn't be any blockage. But if he goes like a one bank, you know, it gives him some a nice chance
Hmm.
to maybe save that ship a little bit
Yeah,
more.
the barrel roll also cleared the path for Darth Maul, just in case there
hmm
might have been a bump.
Yep.
Just trying to make sure, and it's
hmm
very possible there could have been. So now Maul with a focus, plus
hmm
his 1 regenerated force.
And there's a block there. Yeah, block on there. So he's
Not
not.
quite on
He's
the
only
rock,
going
so
to take.
that's good.
This actually is not a horrible thing right here.
No, he's
If you
only
look at
taking
the
the 1
position
shot.
there. Yeah, I mean there might be a shot from that guy below him, but I don't think so.
I would doubt it.
Yeah, it looks like that's probably not going to be a shot. So now he gets to take one range, one shot, and that might even be out. I mean, we got, it's an angle, right? So it's
Hmm.
not perfectly straight on. So that he might have actually set himself up decently here to get a free shot on Maul. We'll find out what happens with that droid. Now, if you do, you're at range 1 of that droid, do you try to clear it so it can't shoot at you? I mean, it is rolling 2 dice. It does have a calculate token to stay alive. I mean, you got to have a good shot here, but I mean,
I
it
mean,
is
you've got to
going to
start
be.
taking things off the board, and that one's got the most ability to turn around on you at the moment.
Mhm.
So
think that's okay if
I mean, Maul looks like his shields are down. If I'm looking at the right card, can't quite tell.
Grievous has shields down.
Grievous. Okay,
Mhm.
so
Yeah, Maul looks
Maul
like
must
he's
be a
still.
little farther up the table than we can see.
Mhm.
Okay, so yeah, you're not going to be killing Maul, but there's the potential you could kill one of these drones.
Mhm.
So I think you go for that. And Anakin going after Grievous. Range
Try to
1.
finish him off. He's got a chance to do it here. 2 hits.
2 hits plus whatever the other 2 dice might be. Oh, looks like 3
Oh,
hits and a crit.
wow, that should do it here.
didn't have to spend the force.
Good shot coming
And
in from
clearing-
Anakin.
Clearing stress and focus, so I'm guessing Grievous went down.
He's not the Dark Lord of the Sith for nothing, ladies and gentlemen.
Not yet. Still technically a Jedi in this fight, I guess.
In this scenario. Well, Chancellor Palpatine's dead, so I guess he won't turn.
Maybe
Right.
not. Maybe
Yeah.
not.
Alternate universe right
He
here.
might stay light long enough to be considered a master.
There you go. Oh, range 2 shot coming from Maul.
Now, force can change a dice to anything?
Focus result.
Looks like Maul has a focus.
Like a
Yeah.
calculate.
It is.
Of course, he has the Force as well to help him.
Mm-hmm.
No real reason to
I think
spend
you
it,
kind
though.
of. No, I would save the. If you rolled a focus result, I would use the focus
Mhm.
token. Save those force because you want to recharge that ability. It takes 2
Mhm.
force to trigger that new Maul ability. Shoot
Yeah,
again.
well, we see Anakin spending 2 Force there. Must be to evade that shot. All right, 2 dice plus a focus for 3.
Yep, got
Spending it, so that there we go, 2 evades. Okay, so taking 1. That's a power ball right there, right? He evaded the 1st
Mhm.
shot, and then boom,
I misplaced.
takes another shot there.
I love this
I
game.
don't
I don't get to play
play any of
ever.
these. I'm a scum
Let's
player
see
all the time.
here.
I
So
don't get to play.
Alright, you have a range 1.
it
All right,
looks
here comes
like
the
that
torrent.
one might be an arc. We're gonna go ahead and measure. It's like
Mhm.
Torrent's trying to figure out who he might go for.
Both range 1, did that show range 1 with Maul too?
I believe so.
Am I not even allowed to measure your arc on me?
No.
You got no, what, Maul is out of Force, is that right? I think so. And so if he's out of Force,
Try and strip off that
you got a
arc.
calculate token on that other ship. Maybe you do start trying to put some damage in. I don't think you're gonna kill the droid. That's the problem.
Yeah, he
Nothing.
didn't roll anything anyway.
Not
So
enough. Not
it's,
enough to
it's
do
one of those
it.
times where you rack your brain trying to make the right
Mhm.
decision, and then you roll, and it really didn't matter anyway.
I like the 50-50 shots here where I have a focus token on one guy and no focus token on the other. I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, which one? They're both same initiative. Which one do I fire first? And then
Yeah.
I always, not
this,
always,
this firing arc actually might be not enough to get that torrent.
but I thought it would be close. They're gonna. I mean,
Arc that
Bobby
ship.
Fett is a TO, so he knows how to make sure these arcs. Make sure you can check them. It is so close.
Right
We
down
need a
that little
judge
corner.
call. We need a judge call here.
I have a laser, I just don't like them. For general purposes,
All right.
I think they're fine.
I think that they were calling that in.
It looked
in
like it.
there.
Looked like
So
he
very
got
close, though.
just the tip of the corner there.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so range
Yeah.
1.
It's range 1, 3 dice, and a calculate token. So who needs energy shells anyway?
Well, no, you can't get the crit though, so that's a positive. That's a positive here.
Crit hit at this point, damage is damage.
True. And the oddball has no shields, so we got just 5 hull here.
I believe in you.
All right, 2 hits. 3 hits.
Ooh,
And an evade.
and
One
one
evade.
evade. Hmm.
So taking 2.
Still
Drop them down to
alive.
3. Mm-hmm.
Still alive. Not even half points yet.
Mm-mm.
Alright, so that should be all the shooting for this round, I believe. How does the Republic try to get out of here? You gotta remember those drones are
Mm-hmm.
probably going first, and you're probably gonna be seeing some of these 1Ks coming up.
Well, yeah, true. Yeah, that is a downside there. I think I got a couple of thoughts. So with Oddball, you could do. You know that Maul has to move, right? So you got a 2 hard that you can do. Um, the problem is there's a lot of reds on this dial. So if you look at it, I mean, you got a red hard 1, which I like that you have the hard 1, but it's red. And then you got 2 red 3 banks. So
Mm-hmm.
the 3 banks are red. I mean, I don't know. I think if your dial kind of sets you up to have to go with the 2 hard. It's tough because you didn't put any damage on
Mm-hmm.
any ship that last time with the torrent, so you don't really have anything you can focus fire right now.
Do you maybe go fast and just try to let Anakin try to do his thing? I mean, if all these ships stress out, they're only rolling 2 die, they're not recharging their shells, like, maybe you just let Anakin kind of weather a bit of the storm a little bit and get Oddball in a better position.
Yeah, I mean, you could, if you're going to do that, though, I think you need to run to the right with Anakin and try to get around that rock there, or maybe just go, real fast with him. You got Darth Maul right there breathing down your neck. All 3 of these ships are probably going to do the K turn like you talked about, which means they're all going to get shots, and Anakin's going to be in this really tough kill box here, coming up very fast. So
Yeah,
it's hard. I think you got to try and get some shots in, like you said earlier.
trying to run to the
If he
right
would have
though.
ran left last turn, then I think you have some more options. But I think right now it's so clustered up, and these ships are going to be right behind you, and there's
Yeah.
nothing you can do about it because they're all going to move first. So
You try to run too far to the, or
mhm,
if you don't go fast enough to the right, Darth Maul does have 2 sloops,
mhm,
so he could kind of block up that area of the map,
mhm,
trying to 1 turn on Oddball, but maybe even Anakin if Anakin goes to the left at all.
mhm, mhm.
And here we go.
Yep,
And
here it is.
actually, a
Oh,
1 hard turn
a 1
onto the.
hard turn.
Oh, getting
Interesting.
those grappling hooks
Oh, there it
going.
is. Yeah, we get to see it. Okay. All right, grappling hooks. This is usually not what you are doing in X-Wing as far as like
Yeah, our
you're
both
not
of us, our
usually
initial
saying,
reaction
"Hey,
was to be like, "Oh no, why would he do that?"
why is he hitting the rock? This is no
He
time for
had
hitting
to have,
rocks."
yeah, you had to know that was coming, but flipping that card allows you to ignore it. You
Look at
land on
that,
it.
and he gets the token.
Mm-hmm.
So he's on it now. And can he turn that turret, or the turret is stuck
He has to
there?
wait for the next round. You
Okay.
dial in a turn, and then you got to turn that direction.
Okay. And then
The only way off of the rock is to put in a 2 straight onto your
Okay.
dial.
And you basically whatever direction you're pointing, you're just gonna basically launch off that direction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it not?
All right. There's the 1K there, and another 1K, and it should fit. Should fit just fine. Yep.
Yeah, usually if you've got ships that perform the same move, they
Yeah.
should be, as far as straights go, should be pretty simple that they're not going to bump.
Yeah. So I mean, really, you got this. Look at the next turn with that bottom vulture droid. I mean, he's just gonna turn, just turn to the left, and you got everything right there. Now you can only turn, right? You can't do like you can't like K-turn it on the rock, right?
Oh yeah, Zergy, thank you for the follow, I appreciate it. Hopefully you're enjoying some of this Seattle area battles.
Trying out the new ships, I like it. So, but coming back to my question here, you can only turn, correct? You can't like do a K-turn on the rock kind of a thing with
No, I
that
believe
turret,
you
right?
can only rotate 90 degrees.
Okay, all right. All right, here comes Darth Maul's move.
Darth
Let's
Maul
see, he's
5K. Going
5K. Look at
fast.
that. And again, you know, check out what it does for you, right? I mean, you're going through that gas cloud. You don't lose an action with a Jedi, or even a Dark Jedi in this case, right? You got the Force anyways. So, I mean,
Yeah,
you
well,
have a
and
little bit of
losing an action's not a
modification.
big deal if you're taking a stressful move anyway.
Mm-hmm,
Really,
mm-hmm,
that's only going to matter this next turn when he does a blue. He'll go through the rock or the
mm-hmm,
gas cloud again. Still
mm-hmm.
no action to get
But
rid
he
of the
gets the
stress.
stress, yeah.
But I
Mm-hmm,
mean, hey, you're not rolling for damage,
mm-hmm.
and you
So
get a
we,
shoot. Whereas the rocks, you don't get a shoot while you're on them, unless
mhm.
you're a Vulture Droid, as we're gonna see.
Now here's that was a 2-turn, I believe, right? The 2-turn I was thinking. Um, he's at range. Looks like he's trying to maybe get a little bit more range away from those Vulture Droids. And I think
You're
this is
going
a
with
nice
that
barrel
barrel
roll.
roll.
I think this is a really nice barrel roll. It's a white barrel roll on Oddball, which on the Torrents, which is good. Um, compared to the arcs with that red. So it gives him some flexibility next turn. But it looks like he's trying to gun down Darth Maul here. Kind of just letting the droids be. They're going to be a nuisance there, but I think he's got a
Yeah,
evade as well.
linking to an evade, which because of
Mm-hmm.
debris gambit, it's white, so you're
Yep,
not taking stress for it.
that is a nice move right there. The
Good
barrel
little
roll
combo.
to the debris. I really, really like that. That's something I wouldn't have totally missed. So look at this.
And a sloop from Anakin. So yeah, trying to
Jeez.
focus down Darth Maul.
Yep.
That was a good call on
Mm-hmm.
Elijah's part.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to
Yep.
get both your
Yeah,
ships on the
Darth.
same target.
Now I dialing in that. I'll be honest. Dialing in that move would have been a little scary for me because I don't know if is Maul gonna go slow. Is that and so am I gonna get stressed out and get blocked? Like that's kind of what I was thinking. But man, Elijah going for it and it pays off. I think.
Sure. I think as far as just trying to learn some of this new stuff, it's a
Mm-hmm.
bit important to point out, yes, Anakin did do that sloop, that red maneuver.
Mm-hmm.
However, he's got that ship in bullseye easily.
Yeah.
So he shouldn't
Definitely.
actually be stressed
Uh,
from his ability. If he wants to spend a force to remove it, rather. So maybe he just chose
Yes, I
to
see what
keep
you're
it.
saying. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so that it could have been where he's just saying, "Hey, I need to save my force because he only has one right now,
Could be.
and I can clear it next
We see
turn,
that
no
shot through the
problem."
gas cloud, turning a blank to an evade.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So,
And he'll get it back. So I mean, he'll get the same thing when Maul shoots back. So you'll get that free evade there.
that being said, you could shoot at the torrent in order to make that shot unobstructed.
True. Yep. But the torrent does have 3 attack or 3 defense dice plus
An evade.
the evade. So but maybe you got the droids shooting after too. So you strip the evade and then they might be able to sneak something in.
Yeah, I mean it's
Range
one of
3
those
shot.
things where it's usually better just to try to focus down the guy that's already hurt.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a tough call either way.
Yeah, I mean, if let's say you take Maul, you shoot at him, right? You miss, you shoot again, right? And then you have the droids. They could take shots at Anakin right now too, so he could kind of get whittled down because he only has one force showing.
Yeah.
And no other mods to
Which
to
is
help
probably
out.
why he kept that stress token. Just wanted to point that out for people, because learning these new ships. I don't know, I might have been tempted, especially when you're learning and you're putting ships on the table in a casual match. Just learn the abilities, use it, might as well, see if it works out for you. Because now you're going to be locked into a blue with Anakin, which means, because probably going to need to turn around again on this next turn.
Nice thing is though he does have the R4 droid, so he can do the blue turn, which is great. So he definitely has some options there as far as clearing that stress.
That was a card you did.
But yeah, I think if he had more force, clearing that stress would have been a nice option. And you know, really, right now, the way the X-wing's being played, there are a lot of bigger ships. You know, a lot of medium bases being played. A lot of, especially in hyperspace, there's some large bases with Han, and now we have Maul up there. So you've got chances on these bullseyes on getting these to hit.
Yeah, it's hard to line them up with just small ships on the table like it was when kind of second edition kind of kicked off. But now that some of these large bases are making a comeback, the Millennium Falcon dropping in points, you got Han and Lando, like you said, um, and now with the Infiltrator coming out, you can get a bullseye with these Jedi Starfighters. They're pretty maneuverable. And those fine-tuned controls as well, you can be spending your force to barrel roll and boost, and then still get your action on top of it.
All right, we got a roll coming in.
One lonely little hit.
So we got another
And
roll
one of
coming. I was like, we're definitely going to see another roll coming here from Maul. Here's the second.
There it is.
2 hits. So you have force to spend. Does he want to spend it if he does have it?
Looks like he
There
spent
it
it.
is.
3 hits.
3 hits.
And 1 evade, which will be enough. He's got 3 hull left, so that'll put him down to 1. That was the only one rolled.
I mean, there could have been a focus too. He does have a force to spend if there was a focus.
And the evade token as well.
2 more hits coming.
Looks like those vultures are trying to finish him off.
For the basic
oddball. Oddball did nothing. The other one, I already took it and then spent it.
He's thinking about the force there.
Oh, and I got my 1.
Looks like he has 2 force showing.
He just flipped one. He might just be
Fixing it from the...
getting to the end round. I'm not sure. It looks like there are more shots coming, so not positive if that was just a missed one from before, or if he was just starting to flip things and get ready for the next round.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been. I don't think that's a missed opportunity. I think you... Oh, okay.
I think he was just trying to get ready for the next round.
I'm going to do number 1 first, range 3, you get the extra.
One of those things where you're making that assumption that he's shooting at your torrent. So I mean, Anakin's not going to be spending the force, so flipping it over, trying to save some time.
Now range 2.
But always better.
One more shot.
It is better just to wait till that phase begins, just so there's no confusion. And 2 hits with that calculate token. And 2 evades.
Looks like it's evaded. Yep.
Alright.
So I was going to ask too, one of the things that's nice about his build with Oddball is you have Debris Gambit, which gives the red action. I mean, if he wasn't so close to that debris, the gas cloud, he could have actually got a target lock on Maul, right? Because he's got him in bullseye.
Let me take another look at that.
It says after you fully execute a red maneuver or perform a red action, if there's an enemy ship in bullseye, you may acquire a lock on that ship.
If he wasn't so close, then it would be a red evade, and then he would be able to acquire that lock as long as bullseye was still there. If you kind of in your mind barrel roll him back to the right there,
yeah, he wouldn't have been.
He might not have that bullseye.
No, it wasn't bullseye until he did the barrel roll.
So,
yeah,
but otherwise, again, we're all trying to learn these new cards, so it's good to kind of look at some of these situations.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's
out.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting because, you know, had that debris just been over a little bit, that move would have been just as good, right? Even if he didn't have a white evade. You know what I mean? Like, it would have been just as powerful, maybe even more powerful, because I think that shot missed anyways, right? Without any mods. So you have a target lock, bam, you know, you can re-roll those dice. So
I think here... I think what you might do here is go in with maybe a 3, block up a lot of that, or 2 or a 3, block up a lot of Maul's moves. And then you can take an evade, it'll be white, so you don't have to worry about the stress or anything. Then you can K-turn around maybe next round if oddball's still on the table, and then you'll benefit from that gas cloud for your shots at you. Trying to block Maul up and do some damage.
Yeah, I mean, Maul is moving first, I believe, though, right? I think he's moving ahead of the Torrent. So I think, is that what you're saying, is use Maul to block?
Oh no, I was thinking the Torrent was going
Okay.
first, but I think you are right. I think it has been going second in all this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think Maul could do all that blocking.
Mm-hmm.
And so I almost wonder if Anakin just ducks out to the right, if both ships just kind of duck to the left or the right on this next move. Maybe
Yeah.
try to circle back around the rocks, because if you can get Maul to not, be quite so agile, right?
Mm-hmm.
He can it might take him a little bit of time to turn around, but he does have a 5K.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But okay, all right,
I mean, we've seen the strength of that before with the
Yes.
Lancer.
Yes.
Has the 5K?
No, it was,
or is it the Ghost?
well,
one of those.
it was the Ghost. The
Okay.
Ghost had a 5K. Now it has a 4. So
Yeah.
did they learn from their mistakes before? I don't know. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. FFG I'm talking about, but we'll see. We'll see that if that's a powerful thing or not.
Here comes
Moving
Maul, just a nice
Yep,
slow
okay.
move.
But definitely blocks up a lot of things. Still, possibly keeping some shots in there. A nice little
Yeah,
kill
not
box.
a lot these guys can do to keep arc on their moves. They hopefully just kind of sped off and bugged out.
But I tell you what, I mean, think about next turn, right? Well, let's see what they do. But I'm thinking next turn, if Anakin does, duck out, if the Torrent ducks out, right? You've got the droids that can come in right in front of Maul there, still get shots on their target, and Maul can do that 5K next turn. So I think there's a lot of really nice options here for Boba Fett.
Got a turn that looks. Oh, Talon? Talon roll?
Is he turning from behind there?
It's like a Talon roll to face up towards the droids.
Mm-hmm. So he's figuring out which side he wants it on, front, middle, or back.
Yeah, so long as Maul doesn't kill you. Because Maul's gonna be, I think, charged up enough.
I see one force charge up there. Well, let's see. Maybe Anakin did his. No, he can't do a sloop.
He's
I was just
from
going
that
to say
last
a
round.
sloop would be nice.
That's one of the reasons I think I probably would have spent the force to clear that stress, just because your options are a bit limited with Maul coming in, blocking your way.
See what he did here.
One turn, that's gonna bump. Well, Anakin won't get shot.
Well, he's got droids behind him. But...
Yeah. But I think at least one of those droids has a shot on Oddball and probably going to be trying to take him down.
Yeah, hopefully Oddball can take a droid out. Hopefully the middle one.
He did do that Talon roll and was able to do that trick you were talking about with that lock from the bullseye. So he's firing some cluster missiles here.
No, did he use the... He didn't use the lock, so he's going to take 2 shots here. So 2 hits and a crit, which isn't bad. Loose stabilizer. So the crit goes through. Here's this should be the second shot, I believe.
Hang on, that was four dice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Clusters are
3 dice.
So where's...
Was that Maul?
Oh, Maul has initiative, so that was Maul's shot on...
Okay.
So that was Oddball taking all that. Oof.
So he only took a crit. So that's not actually too bad. So he's still alive. And now he can shoot those clusters if he wants. And get 2 shots. The clusters read... after the attack, you may perform a bonus attack against a different target at range 0 to 1 of the defender. So
I mean, a low chance, but still a chance that he wipes both those vultures off.
That would be amazing.
That would be great for
that would
him.
be cool to see. Yeah,
Not for Bob, but
definitely. Yeah, I mean that would be all reds and no greens.
mhm.
And here's the first shot.
1, 2,
2 hits
3.
and a
That's a good
crit.
way to start.
2 dice coming, 1 evades showing. So see what the crit is. Hitting a crit.
On direct hit.
Direct hit.
Is it direct hit?
That's what he said.
Oh,
I'm going
I've got a little
So
bit of the
that-
volume up.
and that should blow it up if it is a direct hit. Or maybe they were just, maybe Elijah was thinking direct hit. Show it. Show the direct. So it looks like they haven't cleared him yet, so he should still be alive. Looks like hopefully a second shot here.
And just one.
1 hit. Goes through.
Hey, I'll take it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, take the damage where you can. So we got half points on one of those droids there.
And Maul, if he... Well, he probably won't have enough force, right? He's just got the 1.
Omal shot already, right? Didn't he?
Yeah.
So now it's the
Just trying to
droid's
think
turn.
with that hate, being able to recharge some of these.
Mm-hmm. Hit and evade. So it looks like he's safe there. That was looked like that was probably on Anakin because of the lead
Yeah,
droid.
that lead one can only shoot at Anakin, so you might as well get that out of the way.
Yeah, because if he, let's say he does put damage on Anakin, maybe you keep going,
Mhm.
with the other 2 droids. And that's just something you do need to think about as a player, especially if you're a new player, is thinking about how do you want to prioritize those shots, especially when you have the same initiative. Are you gonna split fire? In 2.0, it's not always a bad thing. It depends on what situation you're in, how many
Mhm.
points you need, right? So sometimes that can actually work out. There's 2 hits.
And Oddball finally off the table.
Yep. He's put up a good fight. Valiant effort. Actually, I mean, I'm really really excited to see some of this play that Elijah pulled out after losing that arc so fast. Being able to maneuver his way around the board like this was pretty solid skill there.
Yeah, it goes to show you that energy shell
Mhm.
alpha strike. It's powerful, but once you get through it,
Mhm.
they're not really doing a whole lot,
Mhm.
barring some very bad dice results. But
Mhm.
now Anakin 3 hull has to try to figure out how he's going to come out of this.
I think at this point you try to. What you got? You got the stress clear, so now you can do your turn. I think you K turn it, or not K turn, but do the sloop to the right, because I think you want your action. So
Hmm.
I don't think that'll hit the rock. To sloop.
Uh,
Sorry, not to the right. I apologize. To the left.
Anakin's left.
The left.
Is
Anakin's
what
left.
you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That should be
I was
fine.
thinking my sec.
I'm like, pretty sure that hits that cloud.
Yeah. No.
It won't hit a rock, you're right, but it'll hit that cloud.
Yeah, I'm thinking to the left.
Yeah.
And that might line him up in a bullseye too, so he might be able to clear that stress right away. He's got
There's
2
plenty
force.
of bad guy ships to try to get in bullseye there.
Well, plus you have, I mean, you got you've got his ether sprite ability, right? Fine tune controls. You can use the force. Hopefully, you don't. I mean, he's not low on force, but it depends how many shots are coming, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because
I
these
mean,
droids
he's
are gonna
3
hard
hull
turn
and
here.
only 2 agility with that
Mm-hmm.
that configuration that he took.
I mean, the only other thing you can do is just burn rubber, try to run a little bit, but that gives Maul time to regroup. Of course, he might 5K right now, anyways. So
I mean, I probably would.
I would definitely, yeah. All right, here's the 2,
So coming off
and
the
he's
rock.
gonna bump. Yeah, so he just did the straight template to bump. And here's the hard
now
turn.
these droids just need to get out of Maul's way.
Mm-hmm.
number 1, so he'll spend his
Yep.
action to clear his.
Get out of his way, but they're going to keep arc on Anakin unless he hard turns to the left.
No.
Until he goes over that gas cloud, if he does go to the right. Anakin's right, that is.
But he can't
There's
fire
calculate.
Still hasn't tried to reload those energy shells. The shots
Well,
being more important.
And I was talking with Travis Woolridge from Silver Squadron there, who won that tournament this last weekend, and he was saying I don't think he recharged them very often, if at all. It was really just that first pass. I mean, we saw the damage it just did in this game. That sometimes is all you need, you know.
Mark and Anakin.
Mm-hmm.
And see if it is that
This
5.
is for that 5K, yeah.
No.
Oh, no.
Sloop.
No
Two
5K,
sloop.
okay. That works, too. That has a sloop?
Yeah. I mean, it's a
Good
large
night.
ship. Of course it has a sloop. Very maneuverable, you know,
this
these
is very
things.
Jump Master like here. And you know what? Look at this. Look at this debris cloud, or not debris cloud, but gas cloud. Okay, you do the sloop. You're on the gas cloud.
Still gonna fire.
You weren't gonna get an action anyways.
Nope.
So there's really no penalty, you know. Yeah, it's just interesting. It's interesting observation I'm having here. I like that sloop, though. Look how smooth Bobby Fett flew that, right? I mean, no bumps, nothing. Those droids
And
come
Anakin
in.
with a 1 hard turn.
1 hard turn, okay. He's going to need to use the Force and do a barrel roll of some kind, or a
Gonna need
boost
to
or
use the
something
Force
here.
and wave his hand and change some of these chance cubes that are about to roll on the table.
Chance cubes. Shoot. I think a barrel roll left. You got to get out of somebody's arc. Or not barrel roll. I mean, I'm sorry, a boost left.
Yeah.
Here it comes. I mean, that could maybe get you out of that. Oh,
Gets
front
you out
guard
of
got bumped there.
Gets you out of 1 range 1 if they pivot him back to his position.
Yeah.
And then you could barrel roll farther away, because it doesn't look like Anakin's gonna have a shot anyway. He's going for the evade.
Yeah.
Which is actually a purple evade action, right? So he's got to spend a Force to do that.
And he did, yep. So he's out of Force. So that's it. We got the evades there, and I'm not sure I missed the. See if he had that shot.
Like a lot came from it.
Alright, Darth Maul.
Definitely didn't kill it off.
Is he reaching any cards? No, just more dice. All right, here's a shot. 3 dice coming in. 1 evade. Turns an evade, so he spent it. So still no damage yet.
Not yet, but you're already down your evade token.
You got 2 guys coming now, so now you're. It's up to with calculate. 1 calculate token to come.
And there's
Spend 1.
calculate.
Yep, hit crit. There's 1 evade I see. Couldn't see the other dice there, but see if he reaches for a card here for the crit, or if he evaded it.
And then this guy, he cannot use his calculator.
And Maul is next to fire. You know, the interesting thing too about these gas clouds is they're figuring out this part is. Oh, here's the shot. 2 hits.
Okay, and evade focus, and there he goes.
Oh, that was it. Must have been
off the table.
3 hits.
Yikes.
Well, good game there. Good game there.
He definitely tried to do everything he could, and he held on to oddball a lot longer than I thought.
Yeah, I think flying. He did some really nice flying to get in some different positions there for sure with oddball and Anakin joining back up with him.
But man, the power of that Alpha Strike really kind of turned the battle, and they just couldn't come back from it. It was a hard position to get put into in the first round of engagement, losing that big ship.
Yeah, and
Not good.
I think I think the question comes, when you're fighting a build like this, do you go after those low initiative drones? I mean, it stinks, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be 24, and in this case 27, because they all had the grappling struts. But I'm seeing a lot of lists right now that are just using the energy shells. So you're
Mm-hmm.
at 24 points with each drone. Gosh, that's efficient, because
Yeah.
even if I mean, even if they're taking the shot, you get them cleared off the table, right? I mean, they turn into a Biggs effect, right? I mean, they're taking damage away from Maul, or they're taking damage away from Grievous, or or Watt. I saw
Mm-hmm.
Watt was in William Hagwood's list. So you've got your you know the meat of your build that you want to survive for a long time, and then you have these drones that are going to take these extra little pot shots. So that's the question, right? How do you approach your attack against this? Do you try to wipe one of those off quickly so that they can't get the energy shell off? Maybe do you try and get two off quickly? So
Mm-hmm.
it's
Yeah.
definitely going to make some prioritizing who you're going to shoot at. It's going to be tough decisions there. So, um, hmm.
Yeah, Darth Maul seems like the target to go after, right? Because he's strong, he can shoot twice, all this kind of stuff. But at the
Mhm,
same time, he can take a couple lickings, and so
mhm,
if you don't have the power to knock him off the table, you're probably better off initiative killing some of these drones. But I
mhm,
mean, they just came out. It's
mhm,
we'll have to see how they fare, if this is kind of normal for them, or if this was
mhm,
maybe a bit of more of a fluke for them.
mhm.
We'll just have to see. These are new
Well, and we
ships.
have round two coming up, so we'll see how that goes. And I want to say too, with Bobby Fett's positioning, he took Maul up the left side there, took those droids, cut him through the middle, right? That
Mm-hmm.
fast moves, getting him right up in the face of Elijah's squad, and that was really solid. And he kept the pressure on. Like you didn't see him kind of start to turn those droids around or
Mm-hmm.
anything. I mean, when he was turning them. I mean, he was K-turning, or he
Yeah, they
was,
were turning
you
for the
know,
kill.
yeah, they're going to keep that dice pressure on because, in some ways they're expendable, right? Like, you can lose one or two of these droids, and especially if you got your Alpha Strike off, you've probably done enough damage that if you lose them, that's a fine trade for you,
Oh
right, in
yeah.
the next turn. So, I think that was really strong, and the power of the infiltrator we saw right there with that last move. I mean, that clearance. I'm still looking at it right now on the on the screen there. I mean, that is some
Yeah, that
smooth
was close.
piloting to be able to set up those droids and get them in a position where he could not 5K like we thought, but he does a two sloop with that beast, and comes out without bumping. So really really fine piloting on both sides of the table, definitely. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to round two here. We want to take a little
Yeah,
pause.
we'll take a couple minutes here
All
and
right.
get everything loaded up, and we'll be right back, everybody. Um, we've been streaming some of this local to the Seattle area matches. We're also doing some commentary on some Vassal League up in the
Mm-hmm.
Core Worlds. I've been streaming my own journey through the league up in the Core Worlds, and then trying to get some deep core matches. Got one
Mm-hmm.
with Paul Heaver
Yep.
slated to get casted here soon. So
Mm-hmm.
definitely a lot of content coming. So stick with us, and hopefully we'll see you next time. Take it easy, everybody.
All right.
SciFighter out.
All right. See you soon.